Hello, CW Henry 6th graders, 7th graders, and 8th graders. This is Principal Davis coming to you virtually, bringing you a welcome back video. The purpose of this video is to introduce you to some of the things that you can expect when you return to our school building. First of all, we are so excited to have you back in the building. We've seen your beautiful faces on Zoom, but it's been way too long, and we're so excited to finally have some of our oldest role models and students back in the Henry School building. As you know, students in kindergarten through 5th grade have been in the building now, some for over a month. We're very excited to have you back as well. The purpose of this presentation, as I mentioned, is to go over some of the things that will look and feel a little bit different than what you remember from school last year. Let's get started. The first thing that I want to review is mask wearing. Masks are a very important part of the way that we keep everybody healthy and safe in the school building. We've all been living in this pandemic for over a year, so I know you're familiar with the appropriate way to wear your mask. I wanted to emphasize this point now, however, in the beginning of this presentation, because it is one of the most crucial parts of being back in the school building. All adults and students in the building must wear their masks at all times, except when they are eating or drinking. Additionally, you may see adults at sometimes who are either in their classrooms or in an office space without a mask on. This is because if you are alone in your office, like I am on that left-hand picture, I don't need to wear a mask because I'm by myself. But anytime that I'm going to be around anybody else, whether they're a student or a grown-up, I must always wear my mask. We have lots of extra masks and other type of equipment to keep you safe in the school building. So if you need anything, feel free to ask me. You can ask Ms. Liu in the main office, and you can always ask your teachers. For example, if you don't have a clean mask at home or your mask gets wet or dirty throughout the day, we have lots of blue disposable masks like the one I'm wearing in the right-hand picture for you to use in the building. The next thing that I want to review is what arrival is going to look like and feel like. School still starts at 8:30 in the morning. Please plan to arrive on time. The one thing that's different is that if you were at Henry last year, you know that we all used to line up in the upper schoolyard to say the pledge and then give any announcements and come in together. Now, during the pandemic, we're doing this a little bit differently. Each class has an assigned door that they use on the outside of the building to enter for arrival. Every door is numbered. There's a small green rectangle on each door that shows you what the number is. I think it's going to be very simple for the upper school because all upper school classes are going to use door number 1. Now, this is the same door if you're in 7th or 8th grade that you used last year. It's the door on the corner of Green Street and Carpenter Lane. If you're a 6th grader, this is going to be a new door for you. It's the one directly across from the co-op, sort of diagonal from where the corner is. It's the first door sort of up on the hill. Breakfast is going to work similarly if you're in 7th or 8th grade. When you come into the door, you're going to see some of your upper school teachers who you recognize. And if you want breakfast, you're going to grab it on your way inside. If you are arriving late, we ask that you come through the main entrance door, just like you did last year, to get a late slip before coming up to the upper school. One important thing to point out is that we used to offer breakfast before school, starting at 8:10, and now we don't have the building opening early. You just come in at 8:30 when arrival, and you grab your breakfast at that time. Dismissal is going to be very straightforward as well, and that's because the same door that you used to enter in the morning is the same door that you're going to use to exit in the afternoon. If you have any brothers or sisters who are also back at school and you're responsible for picking them up, you're going to have to exit to the outside of the building and then walk around the perimeter to go meet your sibling. The next point that I want to cover is lunch. This has been a frequently asked question. Ms. Davis, are we still eating in the cafeteria during the pandemic, or are we going to be eating in our classrooms? We are still eating in the cafeteria, just like we did last year. Upper school is going to have lunch and recess from 12 to 12:45. Sixth, seventh, and eighth graders are going to go outside first on the days that they're in the school building from 12 o'clock until around 12:20. Between 12:20 and 12:25, we gather our things, we transition inside, and then you will be in the cafeteria for about 20 minutes as well. Your teachers will pick you up from the cafeteria at 12:45 to head back upstairs to the upper school. We are still serving school lunch, so if you are somebody who likes to eat school lunch, please know that it is available for you free of charge every day at school. You are also welcome to bring your food from home. I just ask that you do not bring any glass bottles because that's dangerous and they could break in the building. The cafeteria looks mostly the same with a couple important differences. Because of social distancing, we've limited the amount of people who can sit at each of the cafeteria tables. There are now designated places to sit at each table. There's a maximum of 3 people who can sit at each table. As you can see, pointed by the purple arrow, there is a white and green sticker that says, "Please sit here." Each person needs to sit where there is a sticker. Of course, when you're eating or drinking, you pull your mask down or you fully take it off. But anytime when you're getting up to throw out your tray, throw out your food, or to use the restroom, you must put your mask back on fully before you stand up and walk around. We definitely still have 2 restrooms in the basement. And what's most important is that we're still following social distancing measures while we're using the restroom. So students have to go one at a time if they need to use the restroom. You have to check in with a member of the climate team first, making sure that the restroom is available for you to use. Let me remind you who the members of our climate team are. First of all, these should all be familiar faces if you were at Henry last year, because these are all individuals who've worked with us for a number of years. We have Miss Sydney, Mr. Washington, Miss Dawn, and Miss Jiggs. We also have 2 new members of our climate team who've been working with us all year. When you come back to school, you will meet Miss Mel as well as Miss Adonis. When you get back in the building, if you forget their names because you haven't seen them in so long, don't worry. That's happened to a couple other people as well. Just ask them, "Excuse me, what's your name? I don't remember." All right, the next topic I want to cover are what materials do you need to bring when you return to the school building? Definitely you should bring your book bag or whatever you use to carry your personal items to and from school. If you have a Chromebook from the School District of Philadelphia, you should definitely bring it along with your charger. It is even better if you can put a sticker on it or a piece of tape with your name. Definitely check in with Mr. Jacobs, Miss Smith, Miss Worship, and Miss Raup to see if you're going to be needing your Envision books or any books for reading as well. Definitely bring your pencils or any blue or black ink pens that you use to write with. If you choose to bring a lunch and you don't want to eat school lunch, definitely bring that. And then I also suggest that you bring a water bottle or some bottle that you can refill. The reason for that is because the water fountains are turned off, but we do still have the bottle fillers where if you hold a bottle underneath, water can fill up your bottle. This is also a frequently asked question. Ms. Davis, do I need to wear my uniform when I return to school? No, uniforms have not been required for this entire year. I just ask that you make smart, appropriate choices about what you wear when you come to school. Please don't wear anything that's inappropriate, such as ripped jeans or something that's showing your stomach or has an inappropriate message on it. Also, I ask that you wear shoes that are closed-toed and you're able to walk up and down the steps. Another really important point to bring up. Ms. Davis, can I bring my cell phone? I want to remind everybody that at Henry, we have a strict cell phone policy. You are allowed to have a cell phone with you. You can bring it to school. We know that many students use them to communicate with their families when they're traveling to school and when they're going home. But when you're in the school building from 8:30 to 3:09, your phone needs to be off and away at all times. Your teachers should not be able to see it, and neither should I. Of course, if you need to use your cell phone for personal reasons, such as communicating with a parent or something like that, just check in with an adult first. We trust you. We know that you're responsible, but we have to make sure that we're using our cell phones appropriately so they're not distracting us during the school day. I want to bring up that the PSSAs, our standardized exams, are beginning in about a week on Monday, May the 17th for 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. If you have a brother or sister in 3rd, 4th, or 5th grade, they're starting sooner. Some families have chosen to opt out of PSSA testing. If this is something that is important to you and your family, I encourage that you come and find me or send me an email as soon as possible. We have to know ahead of time if kids are opting out of the PSSA. On this table, and don't worry, we will review this again, but here is an outline of the days that we're having PSSA testing for the upper school, which teacher is going to be responsible for testing which grade, and finally, which sections of the PSSA we're going to be doing. This is a difference from last year. Last year, we used to do one section a day. This year, because we're trying to move it along as quickly as possible so we can return to teaching and learning, we're going to be doing two sections of the PSSA a day, one section in the morning and one section in the afternoon. Your teachers will definitely be talking to you about this when you're returning to the school building, but I encourage you to take a screenshot of this, take a picture of it with your phone, and then ask any questions that you have about PSSA testing before we begin on Monday, May the 17th. You'll notice that I've skipped a couple days, and that's because on Tuesday, May the 18th, we do not have school. And last but not least, this is the last point that I want to review, COVID testing. So everybody who's returned back to the school building, students as well as employees, meaning teachers and all of the other staff who work in the building, have to do what we're calling asymptomatic assurance COVID testing. This is a necessary step to make sure that we're keeping each other healthy and safe in the building and that nobody is asymptomatic for COVID and accidentally spreading to anyone else in the building. That would be a terrible situation. So for the past month or so, everyone who's in the building has been participating in this asymptomatic testing. It's a little bit different than some of the other types of tests that have been administered during the pandemic. I want to watch this short video with you so that you can feel familiar around what to expect when it is your turn to get COVID tested. Nurse Larson is the one who's doing the COVID test for students at Henry. Let's watch this video together.
So now I want to introduce to you one of our school nurses who is going to show you what the testing will look like.
Hello, everyone, and hello, Mahira. I am Nurse Sheila. The test we'll be administering is the Binax Now Rapid Antigen Test. This test requires a nasal swab of the anterior nose, which will not cause any pain to the student. The results are given within 15 minutes. So, Mahira, today we're going to do a quick swipe in your nose. This may tickle a little.
Please remember, in order for your child to participate in hybrid learning, you must consent to COVID-19 testing. You can sign the consent virtually at philasd.org/studenthealth/COVID testing. Thank you for your attention to this video. We cannot wait to see your child back at school.
Okay, that brings us to the end of this video. I will link the electronic consent form in the description of this YouTube video for any families who still need to complete it. We will also have paper copies available at the school on your first day back. That brings us to the end of this presentation. I would hope it was helpful and it answered any questions that you might have as we're preparing to bring you back to the school building. Of course, if you still have questions, you can reach out to your teachers or you can reach out to me. My email address is kdavis4@philasd.org. I cannot wait to see you soon. Thank you for watching this video.